You weren't born weak, you were tamed. From the very beginning, you were told to be quiet, to fit in, not to stand out, not to demand too much. Slowly, you learned to shrink yourself so others could feel safe. Nietzsche said, "The greatest tragedy of man is to live according to other people's values, to conform, to surrender your instincts to the expectations of the herd." Most people never question this. They never realize that by seeking comfort, they give away their power. You are not a monster because you are cruel. You must be a monster because you refuse to be controlled by fear. Power begins the moment you decide not to be a smaller version of yourself. It begins the moment you stop asking for approval and start standing in your own light. To become truly unstoppable, you must train yourself to endure discomfort willingly, to embrace tension, to thrive in isolation. Most people run from discomfort. They seek approval. They seek comfort. They distract themselves with entertainment, with noise, with endless stimulation. Stillness forces confrontation with your own mind. And an untrained mind is chaotic. It seeks comfort. It seeks validation. It seeks distraction. But the will to power requires voluntary discomfort. It requires choosing the difficult conversation, the difficult habit, the difficult decision, not once but repeatedly, until endurance becomes identity, and identity becomes strength. At first it feels unnatural. It feels harsh. It feels like you are pushing yourself too far. But this is exactly where growth is born. Every time you face a challenge without flinching, every time you stand alone when others conform, every time you embrace tension instead of running from it, you forge the steel of your will. The monster you are becoming is not defined by cruelty, by domination, or by violence. It is defined by self-mastery, by resilience, by the relentless pursuit of your own path. Others may misunderstand you, others may fear you, others may label you, but their fear is not your problem. Your journey is solitary by design. For the moment you rely on validation, the moment you require applause, the moment you bend to the whims of others, you surrender your power. The monster sees clearly that independence is the ultimate form of strength. It acts without needing recognition. It creates without waiting for permission. It endures without seeking comfort. And every choice, every small act of resistance, every conscious step into discomfort is a hammer strike on the anvil of your character, until slowly, almost imperceptibly, you are no longer the person who once shrank, who once sought approval, who once feared isolation. You are something more, something larger, something dangerous in the most constructive way possible. You are a monster, not of destruction, but of will, of discipline, of inner power, of unshakable certainty. And this transformation begins now, not tomorrow, not when others are ready, but the moment you dare to step outside the herd. The moment you choose yourself over comfort, the moment you embrace your own shadow, the moment you rise. After you have taken that step beyond the herd, the quiet begins. The absence of approval, the lack of applause, the weight of solitude settles in, and at first it feels strange. It feels sharp, almost like pain, because human minds are wired to seek belonging, to crave comfort, to fear rejection. Most people flee from this emptiness. They distract themselves endlessly with noise, with social approval, with entertainment, with triviality, anything to avoid the confrontation with their own mind. But the monster embraces it. The monster learns that true power grows not in safety, but in tension, in isolation, in the deliberate choice to face discomfort. Every moment of solitude is an opportunity to observe your own mind, to understand where your weaknesses hide, to confront the habits, fears, and impulses that have held you back. Every choice to endure rather than escape is a strike on the anvil of character. Every refusal to conform, every act of honesty when silence would be easier, every step against the pull of approval strengthens the inner steel. The monster trains in patience, in resilience, in the capacity to bear uncertainty, to confront doubt without succumbing, to make decisions without seeking consensus, to act without asking for permission. The journey is long, and the temptation to turn back is constant. The lure of comfort, of being liked, of being understood, is ever present. Yet each moment of persistence, each conscious step into tension, each embrace of the difficult conversation, the uncomfortable habit, the challenging goal, deepens mastery over the self, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, your mind sharpens, your will strengthens, your instincts become precise, your vision clear, and if this resonates, if you feel the pull to walk this path, know that supporting the channel allows these truths to reach others who are ready to see them. It fuels the work, it strengthens the message, it allows the philosophy of self-mastery, discipline, and inner power to continue. Your support is not just a contribution, it is a choice to stand with those who dare to grow, to embrace tension over comfort, to choose strength over approval, to walk the path of the monster, and every struggle, every rejection, every lonely moment endured, every challenge faced alone brings you closer to becoming unstoppable, to becoming a force that cannot be controlled, a being whose power is internal, precise, and absolute. Because the monster is forged in isolation, in deliberate struggle, in facing the truths most fear to see, in mastering the self when no one is watching, and in embracing the discomfort that the world avoids. As you continue on this path, the herd will try to pull you back. Their voices will echo in your mind, telling you to conform, to seek approval, to stay small, to stay safe. But the monster knows that true power begins in independence, in thinking for oneself, in rejecting the moral chains imposed by others. Nietzsche called this the rejection of the herd morality, the dangerous comfort of following the crowd. Most people do not realize how much of their life is dictated by the invisible pressures of conformity. Every thought filtered, every word measured, every action approved by unseen eyes. The monster refuses this. It sharpens the mind. It questions constantly. It observes every instinct, every emotion, every impulse. It asks, "Is this mine? Or have I inherited it from the expectations of others?" And in doing so, it builds a mind that is sovereign, a mind that cannot be swayed by fear, by envy, by the tides of popular opinion. The monster practices self-discipline not as punishment, but as liberation. It trains itself to delay gratification, to endure boredom, to face difficult truths without flinching, to resist the temptation of immediate comfort, to act according to principles forged in solitude and reflection. Independence is not easy. It requires rejecting what everyone else calls normal. It requires embracing the loneliness of thought. It requires being misunderstood, being criticized, even being feared. Yet every act of conscious choice, every refusal to surrender to the herd, every step toward self-mastery builds inner steel. It trains the mind to see clearly, to decide deliberately, to act without hesitation, to embrace tension without fear, to transform discomfort into a tool, to convert challenge into growth. The monster knows that weakness is not natural. It is learned. It is cultivated by avoidance, by distraction, by fear. And so the monster reverses this process. It teaches itself endurance, courage, persistence, focus. It constructs habits that reinforce strength. It meditates on its fears. It studies its doubts. It challenges its laziness. It turns resistance into ritual, repetition into power. And if you resonate with this path, if you feel the call to step away from approval, to question the norms, to take ownership of your own mind, know that supporting the channel allows these ideas to reach those ready to embrace them. It strengthens the work. It fuels the message. It helps cultivate more monsters, not monsters of cruelty, but monsters of discipline, sovereignty, and unstoppable inner force. For the moment you master your own mind, the moment you refuse to be dictated by fear or expectation, the moment you act deliberately and endure willingly, you are no longer a passive being. You are a monster forged in independence, sharpened by self-control, and unstoppable in your pursuit of power that is truly yours. The monster does not wait. It moves before the world tells it to. It acts not for applause, not for recognition, not for approval, but because action itself is the forge of strength. The path is never easy. Every step is a negotiation with fear. Every choice is a test of endurance. Boredom and discomfort are constant companions. Yet the monster does not flee. It sits with the silence. It feels the tension of untested moments. It examines the restless thoughts that arise. It asks, what is mine? What is conditioned? What is fear? What is laziness? Every hesitation is observed, every impulse studied. The monster transforms frustration into training, anxiety into focus, distraction into deliberate attention. When faced with a difficult task, it does not wait for motivation. It acts, and by acting, motivation follows. It learns that consistency is more powerful than inspiration. Repetition is more important than excitement, and discipline is not a punishment. It is a liberation, a structure through which chaos becomes order. The monster engages with its own weaknesses, tests them, challenges them, confronts them. In doing so, it builds resilience, courage, patience, and precision. Every ordinary day becomes a battlefield. Every small victory is celebrated in silence, every mistake analyzed for insight, every uncomfortable encounter embraced as a teacher. The monster does not measure success by comfort or ease. It measures it by the ability to persist when everything within screams to stop. When the world resists, when the herd criticizes, when the mind doubts, the monster chooses action. It transforms energy into purpose. It converts struggle into mastery. It treats fear as a tool, not a barrier. It faces boredom with curiosity, solitude with reflection. Every obstacle is a lesson, every challenge a refinement, every rejection a mirror of growth. And if you feel the call to follow this path, know that supporting the channel allows these teachings to reach those ready to walk the same road. It fuels the creation of more monsters, not of cruelty, but of self-mastery, of sovereignty, of unstoppable inner force. Supporting the journey is a conscious choice to embrace discipline, to endure willingly, to act deliberately, to face discomfort, to grow beyond approval, to rise beyond expectation. And the monster knows that each step, each deliberate action, each moment of courage, no matter how small, accumulates, compounds, and transforms the ordinary human into a being that cannot be swayed, a being whose power is internal, absolute, precise, unstoppable, forged in solitude, refined through struggle, sharpened by endurance, and every day lived with deliberate action brings it closer to mastery, to sovereignty, to the monster it was always meant to become. The monster understands that real power is never given, it is earned, it is forged in silence, in tension, in the moments where no one is watching. Every decision is a test, every hesitation an opportunity, every fear a teacher. The herd measures success in applause, recognition, in the shallow approval of others. But the monster measures success in sovereignty, in self-mastery, in the ability to endure without external validation. Each struggle is deliberate, each challenge faced with awareness, every discomfort embraced. The monster does not run from anxiety. It studies it, it dissects it, it asks, what is this fear trying to teach me? What weakness does it reveal? And then it converts that fear into fuel, into focus, into deliberate action. Independence is cultivated by consistently rejecting approval, by speaking truths that may be unpopular, by choosing the difficult path instead of the easy one. The monster exercises patience as a muscle. It stretches it through confrontation with doubt, boredom, uncertainty, every choice to persist against internal resistance, every moment endured in tension, every solitary decision to rise above expectation, strengthens the mind and sharpens the will. Habits become rituals, rituals become identity, identity becomes unstoppable force. The monster observes its own mind constantly, analyzing impulses, thoughts, emotions, questioning which are authentic and which are conditioned. It faces boredom without escape, solitude without despair, failure without giving in. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every rejection a mirror, every setback a tool to refine endurance, courage, and clarity. The monster converts uncertainty into strategy, fear into preparation, distraction into deliberate focus. Every act of conscious persistence compounds, each difficult choice builds resilience, and the power that emerges is internal, precise, unshakable, independent of circumstance, independent of opinion, a force that cannot be controlled by the world, a mind sovereign, a spirit disciplined, a presence that moves deliberately through life with purpose. The monster knows that the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire, that mastery requires discomfort willingly endured, that only by embracing struggle, by choosing growth over ease, by facing rejection, conflict and solitude, does one transform into something larger than themselves, unstoppable, sovereign, relentless. And if you feel called to this path, supporting the channel fuels this philosophy, spreads these ideas, allows others to step onto the path of discipline, sovereignty, and unstoppable inner power. It is a small act that compounds into vast influence, just as small acts of courage and endurance build the monster within. And the moment you commit fully, without hesitation, without excuse, without compromise, the transformation begins, and nothing, no fear, no opinion, no obstacle can halt the force you are becoming. The path is never finished. Each day brings new trials, new resistance, new moments where comfort whispers and fear demands obedience. Yet the monster persists. It moves deliberately, every action conscious, every choice aligned with the principles forged in solitude. The moments of struggle have sharpened perception, refined judgment, and strengthened the will. Rejection, criticism, and misunderstanding no longer shake it. The monster has learned to stand alone, to rise without approval, to act without hesitation. Power is no longer something sought from outside. It is internal, precise, unshakable. It flows from the mastery of the mind, the discipline of the body, the sovereignty of the spirit. Every challenge endured, every fear faced, every moment of discomfort embraced has become fuel. It compounds, it accumulates, it transforms the ordinary into extraordinary, the weak into unstoppable, the uncertain into decisive. The monster walks through life as an independent force, measured, deliberate, fearless. Each step intentional, each decision a reflection of self-mastery. Habits are ritual. Ritual is identity. Identity is power. The monster does not crave recognition. It is indifferent to opinion, yet it acts with purpose, with focus, with relentless precision. Every encounter becomes a lesson, every obstacle an opportunity, every failure a mirror. Growth is constant, relentless, unavoidable, and as the monster rises, it understands the ultimate truth Nietzsche taught. Weakness is trained, strength is chosen, the herd clings to comfort. The monster chooses tension, the monster embraces solitude, the monster transforms struggle into mastery. And when you see the world around you, when you see the distractions, the approval seekers, the fearful, remember this: they are not stronger than you, they are simply choosing differently. They have surrendered to comfort. The monster has not. It is forged in discomfort. It is tempered by struggle. It is sharpened by conscious choice, and now, at this moment, the transformation is complete. The power within, undeniable, unstoppable, sovereign. This is the moment where everything converges, the trials, the struggles, the moments of doubt and fear, all the tension endured, all the discomfort faced willingly. It all comes together now, and the monster stands fully formed, sovereign, unstoppable. A force of deliberate action, mastery over mind, body and spirit, every habit forged, every challenge embraced, every fear transformed into fuel, has built a being that no circumstance can shake, no opinion can sway, no obstacle can stop. The monster is the embodiment of independence, discipline and will. And now you have a choice. Will you remain a bystander, surrendered to comfort, to approval, to distraction, or will you step forward, claim the power within, embrace discomfort willingly, face your fears deliberately, endure what others flee from, and rise above expectation to become the monster within yourself? The one who does not wait for permission, does not seek applause, does not bend to the herd. a being whose force is internal, precise, and undeniable. This is the call to action. The path is clear, and if you are ready to walk it, if you are ready to endure, to grow, to rise, to claim what is yours, supporting the channel allows these teachings to reach those prepared to embrace the path. It fuels the philosophy of deliberate action, of discipline, of sovereignty. It spreads the mindset of the monster, and by joining, you are not just a spectator, you are a participant, stepping onto the path, embracing the challenges, and committing to growth. Every moment of support compounds into influence. Every act of courage strengthens the philosophy. Every choice to act deliberately shapes your power. So rise, claim your sovereignty, embrace the struggle, and unleash the monster within, because the moment you commit fully, without hesitation, without compromise, without looking back, is the moment you become unstoppable. And this is where the path begins, not for the weak, not for the comfortable, but for those willing to endure, willing to act, willing to become the monster they were always meant to be.